It's officially December and my Wealthsimple portfolio has surpassed over $200,000 for the first time ever. What an absolute crazy time. If you're new here, in this video we'll basically jump into an update of all my account valuations and reveal all my holdings within each of my accounts. But for now, as mentioned, my portfolio is currently sitting at $202,694.50 on the all-time gain of $75,487.14, or just under 60%. Really quick before we get going, be sure to leave a like down below as it helps the channel immensely. Let's try and get 50 likes on this video for hitting 200,000 for the very first time. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon down below. So popping into the TFSA, it's currently sitting at $65,409.43. And over the last month, this account has seen a $8,632.68 gain, or 15.21% gain over the past month. What an absolute thrill it has been in this account. Even the past 3 months, up 35%. Absolutely insane. Now, something that's a little bit exciting about my TFSA, I have actually maxed it out for the year. I did I believe it was like $7,000 for 2024. So I will no longer be contributing into my TFSA for the rest of this year, but I do have a little bit of cash sitting in the account. I have $2,400, to be exact, $2,424.58 cash in the account, which I'll continue to do my weekly buys with. But I figure I'll go through the holdings here, as it's been a little while since I've gone through the holdings. So we'll start here at the top with Apple. I have about 4 shares of Apple, which is up over 100% now. I did used to have more shares of Apple, but I think I just ended up selling some and putting it into ETFs. And then next up, I got Affirm. This position, I'm down about 7.5%. Next up, I got 5 shares of AMD, which I have been taking profits on when it was much higher than it's currently at. But these 5 shares right now are up 34%. I believe I sold half of my AMD shares when they were up 100%. Next up, these 3 ETFs, these ARK index funds, they have not treated me very well. I mean, I'm almost back to even on ARK F, but as we can see here, ARK G and ARK K, I am down 62% on that ETF, 32% on that one. I mean, you win some, you lose some. This is just, these have been some ETFs that I just happened to lose. Anyways, going further down here, I do have CrowdStrike. This is another position. I used to own 8 shares. I did sell half of these not too long ago when I was up over 100%. So now it's kind of just play money. I'm letting these shares ride up. I do believe there's more upside for CrowdStrike. So anyways, I'm up 91% on that position. Next up, I have Enphase down 56%. Not much to say about that. I do believe this one will recover over the long term. Next, Cloudflare or Net, 16 shares down about 4%. This one hasn't done good or bad for me. It's just kind of been there. But I do see upside for Cloudflare in the future. And speaking of a position that kind of did bad for me, I have NEO, 12 shares of NEO. I bought this like maybe 3-4 years ago during like that huge EV hype. Anyways, this ended up being a loser for me, down 89%. It is what it is. That's the risk you take. Now I also have 10 shares of Palantir in the TFSA, up 403%. Yes, this has been a very, very good position for me in my TFSA. I did initially put about $200. I think I owned 15 shares at one point, but I did sell 5 shares not too long ago when it was up like 300%. So I took my profits on this. This is all just house money in Palantir at this point. And then after that, I have QQC.F, which is just the NASDAQ 100, 11.4 shares, or about $2,000 worth. This is up 13%. Next up, 20 shares of Shopify, down 14%. I bought these shares at like all-time highs for Shopify. I think they'll come back, I do believe. Same thing with Square down below. This one I'm down 37% on, 8 shares of Square. I think these will recover eventually. I'm a long-term investor at the end of the day. Next up, I have 20 shares of Tesla. Tesla's been pumping a bit lately, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's getting back to pretty much the levels it used to be at a few years ago. But anyways, I'm up about 146% on my 20 shares of Tesla in my TFSA. I do own more Tesla in my RRSP, but we'll get into that later on in this video. Next up, TTD, 26 shares, up 71%. I think I took profits on TTD in my RRSP, sorry. But for now, I do have 26 shares in my TFSA. I'm looking to probably take some profits on TTD when I see this up 100%. Next up, the last loser I have in the TFSA, this is Unity. This one was bought in 2021 when things were pretty overinflated in the stock market, so I'm down 80% on this. Not really worried about it. I mean, I have so many winners at this point that the losers I don't even think about at this point. Anyways, moving on down, one of my biggest ETF holdings, I have VFV, 67 shares. I'm up 54.5% basically on my S&P 500 VFV shares. Pretty happy with that. Next up, I got XEQT. If you don't know what XEQT is, it's basically like it's mostly the S&P 500, but it's got a lot of Canadian stocks, a lot of European stocks, emerging market. It's kind of all that built into one. I've got 14,000 in this ETF, and I'm up about 13% in that position. Jumping into the next account here, the RRSP. This account is sitting at $55,730.32. This account is up $5,105.33 and or 10% over the past month. I'm very happy with that. And on the 3-month, the account is up $13,037.97 or 30%. Absolutely insane. In this account, I do still have a pretty decent cash position, which I will be hoping to spend in the new year before I know my new RRSP contribution limit. So I've got about $4,200 in cash in this account as is. This is mostly from taking profits on individual stocks, which I'll end up probably reinvesting into ETFs. But let's get into the holdings I have in the RRSP. Starting with AMD, 4 shares of AMD up 51%. Again, I took profits on these when they were up well over 100%. This is just basically house money for me at this point in AMD. Next, I got Amazon, 3 shares up 43%. Pretty happy with that. Just like Google, 3.7 shares up 30%. Can't go wrong with that. And next, I got HXQ, which is a NASDAQ 100 ETF. 94 shares of this up 75%. I mean, I'm just smiles all around. I'm loving the performance of the portfolio recently. It's so amazing to see, especially after being down for the past couple years through 2022 and 2023. It feels good to start seeing everything jump back up again. And speaking of things jumping back up, Palantir, I've got 20 shares of Palantir in the RRSP, and I'm up 167% on this position in this account. And I did used to have 40 shares of Palantir, but I sold half of them when I was up into the 100%-ish range. I don't remember what it was. But I do have losers in the RRSP. Don't worry, I have PayPal, 5 shares down 16%. I think it'll come back. It'll bounce back. I believe in PayPal long term. Next up, I got SCHD, another ETF, a Dividend King ETF in the United States. I got 5,600 USD in this ETF, or just under 200 shares. This position's up about 12.5%. And I do have Shopify in the RRSP as well. Only 10 shares in this account, though, which are up 88%. I did buy these after they had a bit of a crash shortly after I bought them in the TFSA. So I saw an opportunity to get Shopify for a lower price than I did in my TFSA, and I took that opportunity. And I do have a couple shares of Square in the TFSA as well. This position is down 4%. And like I mentioned, I do have Tesla in the RRSP, 15.5 shares in this account, up 50%. I'll probably take some profits on the Tesla in the RRSP when I see my gain hit 100%. I think that's what I'm going to do. But speaking of taking profit, TTD in the RRSP, I have 5 shares. I used to have 10. I think it was only a couple weeks ago. I ended up selling half of them when I was up over 100%. So TTD is just house money. Again, at this point, like a handful of my individual stock positions are just house money at this point, because I sold my initial investment, got the cash back, and the plan is, if I haven't already reinvested that money, that profit, into an ETF, I plan on doing so. And then lastly, I do have VOO in here, about 13,000 USD, up 27%. The third account here is the non-registered account, which is at $20,011.23. This account is only up about 4% on the month, but on the 3-month, it is up about 16% or $2,800. As for the holdings in this account, I do not have much. It's just ETFs. And you might be wondering, I get this question all the time. Why do I have money in a non-registered account when there is TFSAs and RRSPs? Well, the answer is a few years ago when I maxed out my TFSA and RRSP early on in the year, a couple of years ago, and I pretty much had nowhere else to put money. So I had no choice but to open a non-registered account and start putting some money into here. So that's what I did for about a year. Hence why I have about $20,000 in this account. But the all-time performance of this account is up 53%. So I really only put about 13,000 in this account. But anyways, I only hold ETFs in this account. And the reason I haven't sold anything in here is because I do not want to pay capital gains tax. But anyways, I have VCE, 15 shares of VCE up 30%, 32 shares of VDY up 22%, 6 shares of V up 20%. I got 16,000 or 108 shares of VFE up 62%. That's a pretty nice position in my opinion. And lastly, VIU, 17 shares up 16%. All right, now this is arguably the most exciting account I have, especially of recent. The crypto account is up $17,800 or 60% over the past month. I cannot believe I'm even saying these numbers. It's obviously I've been a believer in crypto, but for it to actually have happened now feels a little bit surreal. If we check out the 3-month performance, just in 3 months, up almost $25,000 or 111%. And checking the all-time gains of the account, up $33,500 or 244%. I mean, let the numbers speak for themselves on this. Let's jump into the holdings I have in the crypto account, starting with some Cardano. I've got about 1,500 in Cardano right now, up 340%. I do have sell targets on all my cryptos. Don't worry, I'm not just holding these willy-nilly. I have my own personal sell targets that I plan on taking profits at. And Cardano's not quite there yet, but it is getting close. On the other hand, Bitcoin, I have about 15,000 in Bitcoin. I am full on house money with Bitcoin at this point. Throughout 2024, I have been taking profits on Bitcoin the entire year, and I have basically taken out my initial investment on Bitcoin plus some at this point. As we can see here, I'm up 237% on my Bitcoin, which is $10,000 profit. I mean, it's insane. I've gotten my money out. This is like pretty much the only crypto position, this and Solana, that I've taken profit on. At this point, I do plan on taking more profits on other coins, like I said. But Bitcoin's all house money. I'm probably not going to sell any more Bitcoin unless Bitcoin does something crazy where it shoots up to like 400,000. Like, I'm not saying Bitcoin's hitting 400,000. I'm saying if it does something crazy, maybe I'll consider selling some more. But for now, pretty content with that. Next up, I have a coin here called Cody. This is one I just recently got into obviously I got into recently, as I said. I did buy $500 worth with some profit I had from some Bitcoin. So in a way, this is kind of house money. This position's up about 5%. Next up, I had a very small position of Dogecoin that did very well. I believe this started with like $50. I just said, you know what, $50 into Dogecoin. It's now worth $270, up 442%. Next up, my Polkadot position. I've got 3,500 in here. This position's up 64%. This is one I'm eyeing some profits eventually for sure. Next, Ethereum. I've got 2 Ethereum, which is about $1,200. This position's up over 100%, 112% to be exact. My sell target, I will be open about my sell target on Ethereum. I'm looking to sell one of my Ethereum if it hits $6,000 USD. And if it does, I'll probably just keep one Ethereum indefinitely and obviously sell one of them. Next, I have a very small position in KNC, only up 6%. This isn't really anything I think about. Chainlink, $5,500 worth of Chainlink. This position is very, very well off. It's up 173%. I'm going to be taking profit on Chainlink very shortly if it keeps going up. Trust me. You just have to believe me. I'm not going crazy and holding all these coins forever. I know that the crypto market's hot. It could pull back at any point. We don't know, but there's something telling me that there is more upside in a lot of these coins. Next up, I have a $500 position of Mana. This position's been a bit of a loser. It's down 30%. And same with Polygon. This is considered quite a bit of a position for me in Polygon. It's about $3,600, and Polygon is sitting flat in my account. I was buying Polygon for a couple years during the bear market. Polygon just hasn't seen a boom yet, like all these other altcoins have. So I do think Polygon will see some upside very, very shortly, and I will look to take profits as soon as possible on Polygon, probably when it hits 100% all-time return. Now Solana, I have 4,300 in Solana. I love Solana. I did take profit on Solana earlier this year when it was much lower. Part of me wishes that I waited a bit longer, but you can't be greedy. You got to take profits when you think it's a good time. And at the time, I did think it was a good idea. Anyways, I'm up 615% on my Solana position. I should be taking profits soon on Solana. Again, if you subscribe to the channel and watch the update videos, I'll let you know whenever I do take profits on any of these coins. And last but not least, I did have a very small position of XRP, which I did take profit on, actually. I saw XRP had an amazing past couple weeks. And I used to have like 100 XRP, not much at all. I sold half of it when it was up like 300, 400%. I don't even remember. Anyways, I took profit. Now, my last account, I won't get into much detail at all. It is just a cash account. And in this account, I am earning 3.75% interest. And the account balance is $14,727.06. I already know this video is going to be a longer one. This is the first time I've really gone through every single individual position throughout my Wealthsimple account. I believe the last time I did that was the first ever portfolio update video I made. Lots has changed since then, and I figured it was a good time to do this again now that my account has hit a new milestone of over $200,000, as we can see here on my portfolio tracking spreadsheet, $202,640.42. And the total all-time deposits in all of my accounts is $129,300. The total all-time return through all my accounts is $73,340.42, or 56.72%. As we can see on this chart, things have exploded recently. This is a chart, a bar from December 1st. My account value was, all my accounts value total was $191,000 basically. So I don't even know what the day is that I'm recording this video. I believe it's December 7th. So in a week, my portfolio has gone up $12,000. And from November 1st, $40,000 portfolio gain in about 5 to 6 weeks. I cannot comprehend that. And when we jump down into all the individual accounts here, as I mentioned, my TFSA is now maxed for the year. The TFSA saw an amazing jump in December. Again, on December 1st, the TFSA was 61,000, but it's now 65,000. So in a week, the TFSA has jumped $4,000. Same story with the RRSP. The RRSP's jumped $2,000 in a week. Things are insane right now. I would not say it's a bad time to take profits. I know I have been taking my profits on individual positions, and I can't advise any of you to do the same, but things are definitely heated right now, and no one has a crystal ball. Things could just keep going up for all I know. I have no idea. But overall, long term, I am bullish. Anyways, I know this video has been going on for quite a bit longer than my videos usually go, so that's going to do it for this portfolio update video. I hope you've all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like down below, as it helps the video and my channel immensely. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell if you have not already. And other than that, thank you again for watching. I hope I hope your portfolios have been doing as great as mine has, or even better. And I will see you all in the next video. See you next time.